What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my garage. Yes, I'm still trying to install the Koni shocks, and it is taking me a lot longer than it should, and I know the reason why. This whole time I've been trying to avoid removing the axle bolt and the ball joint nuts, which would make this process a lot easier. And it wasn't until last night that I was kind of getting away with it. And this kind of goes to show that no matter what you do or how hard you try, shortcuts never work. So, last night, after about an hour of struggling, this is the driver's side, but I'm going to use it for illustrative purposes. I finally got the passenger side strut installed, kind of forced it in there, and now it's kind of yay deep in the knuckle, which is great. It was awesome until I realized that I had installed the shock mount upside down. So right now, this is what it looks like in there. And at the top here, I have to screw 3 screws through the upper strut area in the engine bay, but it's not going to work. Look at the space difference in that, between that, and look at the space difference here. Additionally, this nipple part is going to go slide right in there. And see, this even fits better because it doesn't even want to come out. So I feel like a complete idiot. And what that means is now I have to wait, because I will have to do what I've been avoiding doing, which is remove the axle bolt and the 3 ball joint nuts. So I'm just going to have to do it the right way anyway, because there's no way, without messing up the strut more than I've already messed it up in there, there's no way I'm going to be able to remove that strut from that steering knuckle. Because, don't forget, I have a spring that's resisting me pulling it out. So I would have to get spring compressors on there and try and push up and pull it out and finagle it in some way, which it's not going to work. So I feel like an idiot, and hopefully I'll be able to fix this by the end of this week. I did order a 24mm 12-point socket that should be here on Wednesday, which I was surprised because Amazon initially told me Friday to Monday, but I'm not complaining. I'm pretty happy about that. So between now and then, I'm going to try and prep the rest of this stuff as best I can so that once I get the fronts in, I just have to move to the backs, which I don't anticipate taking very long. Usually the rears are pretty easy because it's just upper strut mount, which goes on there, 1 bolt here, and then you can pretty easily remove the rear springs. Now, the reason I'm putting my GLI springs on here is because, one, I don't think these springs have ever been changed, so they have 165,000 miles on it, and these springs I took out of my GLI came out after about 10,000 miles. So fresher springs that are still OEM, I think that will be legal for autocross, which is the whole reason I'm doing this. But the more I do this and the more I watch Adam LZ or even RWB, it makes me want to customize this car to the way I like it, not worry about rules of autocross. However, I am going to give it a shot, at least for one summer, one season, to see how I like it. And then depending on how this summer goes, I may just go back to how I got into cars, which was, hey, I can modify this however I want, and I will probably put the coilovers I have sitting in there. I have some FK silver lines, I think, so later this year those might be going in. But right now the focus is on these struts, so I should really install a shop light right over this table. That would be awesome. So this goes on here like that. And then when installing, I just got to pay attention to these arrows here. They have to be pointing front to back, which means they have to be essentially opposite of this right here. That will sit on there like that. Gosh, I feel like such an idiot. Okay, I don't think this is enough space right now to get this on here. Nope. Alright. So I'll throw the spring compressor on there, get it down maybe like 1/4 of an inch, and hopefully this should be good. Now, until now, I've never really used a spring compressor like this before, so it's been kind of a learning experience. I think eventually it would be awesome to have like, not a wall mounted, but like a floor mounted spring compressor that I can just pop the whatever strut I'm using in there, push down on the spring, and don't have to worry about the spring flying everywhere. I don't know if there's a best practice for which rung of the spring, if you will, to use, but I'll give this a shot. I will say this, after this experience, I don't think I'm ever going to go back to stock springs again. I think even lowering springs would be a much better experience than this, because on my GLI, I had these stock struts, Coney yellows in the back maybe, but stock struts and the VW Racing Line lowering springs, and it was not nearly as challenging as this. And I keep trying to compare this install to the others I've done, and the first time when I took these stock springs and struts off of the GLI, it was at 10,000 miles. And they were in a lot better shape than this one is. This GTI has 165,000 miles on it. So I'm going to run it this summer and probably build it the way I want it next fall and next winter. So this should be fun. Kind of taking my time with this build, mainly because I'm trying not to spend too much money all at once. I think a lot of people kind of go into debt when they're trying to build race cars and stuff, which I guess if you are winning championships, you're going to pay that stuff off pretty quickly, but I'm not winning anything right now, not yet at least. And yeah, so I'm just trying to take it easy, figure my life out, get this car together and back on the road. I think the number one thing that I need to do is start driving this thing again. I'm looking forward to being able to drive it this spring. Hopefully if I can get these springs on there, pun intended. See, and this is what I was talking about with ruining the strut. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, that's real nice. Well, worry about that once we get in the car. Complete! Alright, so this is the rear shock. Rear shocks are significantly more simple to install than front shocks because you don't have to put the spring on the rear shock. What you do have to do is put that bad boy right there and put this on here. Now I don't remember if it goes like this or if it goes like this. So I was going to wait before I installed this or put this strut mount on here until I was able to figure that out. And this is the rear strut mount. It goes on here, nut goes on there, and then it gets bolted into the chassis like that. So I'm not going to do this today. I'm going to do this once I do take the rears out so I know the proper configuration for the bump stop and the dust shield. But that's all I got. This is why it's been taking me so long to get this project done. I think one, this car is just old and it's seen some salty, wet roads, and a lot of stuff is rusted on it. And 2, I'm just not familiar with this. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been getting better with knocking this out every day, but this is not something you just pick up one day and are good at. So I've been struggling a lot with that. But I'm glad I've gotten this far now. I know where I need to go to get that one out. Hopefully that socket is here on Wednesday. And yeah, I'll pick this up then. Till then, I'll see you next time. Peace.